So I met the director, Joss, and we got on great, and he gave me the job on the spot. So suddenly I then had to, although I'd done some visual effects movies in the past, I really wasn't, it wasn't my wheelhouse, it wasn't where I normally gravitated towards. So, you know, I was very lucky actually to work on that film with Joss and with Yannick Sears, who was the visual effects supervisor, who kind of like shepherded me through all the kind of extremely complicated visual effects stuff that I really wasn't that adroit with.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people.
It was just great fun to work at that scale, and I learned so much about visual effects, about previs, about also working with that amount of big stars all in one place at the one time. Was an exercise in all sorts of things like diplomacy and all the rest. But it was just a hugely enjoyable shoot. I went over a long period of time, and I came out of it feeling that I'd learned a lot. And it was also the first time that I'd ever shot digitally. I'd shot previously on film only, and it was just a real steep learning curve. We were working with the first Alexa, the second, number 2 Alexa actually. And when I look back on it now and look at the film, I can see that I wasn't really au fait with the digital medium. And, you know, I made a lot of mistakes, and I just didn't know the sensor well enough. And I've over the years now, I've sort of really embraced digital, although I still prefer film. But I can see the differences, and I can see the approaches that I need to take to make them look good.
No offense, but I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
You had to change the aspect ratio because of the different heights of the actors. Can you tell me about this?
Well, I didn't change it during the filming, but you know, previously a lot of Marvel films had been shot 2:3:5 or 2:3:9, I should say. You know, letterbox ratio, and that's a ratio I like. I mean, I just tend to change the aspect ratio according to what feels right for the story, and what felt right for the story, both to Joss and myself, was that we were shooting in New York. We were shooting with these characters of differing heights. So rather than have this letterbox and having to come wider than we needed to be, just to give us a little bit more height, would allow us to frame the Hulk with Black Widow, with, you know, the flying stuff, and in the vertical nature of the cities of New York, that it just felt a more appropriate height. And we came in for a lot of criticism about that, because people associate that 1:8:5 ratio with a more sort of televisual perspective.
Then you have this composition of the first time where they are all together and you have this circular take. Can you tell me the story behind that take?
Well, that take was sort of the first shot that was conceived in the whole film, because as soon as you've got the Avengers all together, that was one of the ones, you know, they previs, you know, the digital storyboard of the film is very much something that's part and parcel of these big effects movies, and you really kind of have to think very assiduously about what you're shooting. That's the nature of it. For visual effects, everybody needs to know what's being shot. So, but it was also one of those signature shots that I think they just wanted to know what the trailer moment was in the film, and that was it. Initially, in the 2:4:0 aspect ratio, we were like, God, we have to be too far back, and we want to be in close and wide on a 1:8:5 aspect ratio. And I think we made the right decision on that.
I won't touch Barton, not until I make him kill you. Slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear.
Certainly with Joss, his tendency is to be quite daring with language, which can sometimes take it into a higher age range. And there are a couple of little moments in the film that sort of snuck under the wire. You know, when Loki tells Black Widow, "You mewling quim,"
And when he screams, I'll split his skull. This is my bargain, you mewling quim.
which is a sort of Shakespearean phrase for, you know, part of the female anatomy. And that sort of slipped in under the wire with people not even realizing what it meant. So I'm glad for that, those little secret Easter eggs of